welcome to Shamrock Rovers Fan TV. Now, I'm delighted to say that the League of Ireland will be returning, and the Shamrock Rovers' first game will be home at Tallaght Stadium to Finn Harps on the 1st of August. Now, if you want to see this game, go to Watch LOI. It's the new streaming service that the FAI released a couple of weeks ago, and I highly recommend picking it up if you want to see some games, because unfortunately fans won't be allowed to come in. Rovers have announced that no fans will be coming in for the game, and maybe in the future they'll let some fans in. I know a couple of teams Sligo are letting 50 fans in, which, if it works out well for them, hopefully Rovers do the same. And because I'd love to see some live football, and it would be great to get even a bit of fans, because there won't be much of an atmosphere at the behind closed doors games. And one thing I love about the League of Ireland is the atmosphere. The passion from the fans is brilliant, and unfortunately we won't have that. Now, moving on to talking about Finn Harps, they're sitting 8th place in the league with 4 points, which it's not bad. A lot of people thought they were going to go down. It is very early, so you never know. Like, they still could go down, but it's not looking too bad for them. They signed Barry McNamee before the season started, and I think he's a great addition to the squad. He's a great player, and they're lucky to have him. Like, Ollie Horgan's a great manager. What he did with Finn Harps, last year they had a blanket which was UCD, so if that was kind of pulled away from them. And a lot of people thought they were easily going to go down this year, but it shows how good Ollie Horgan is a manager, keeping Finn Harps up, because I think that UCD squad was probably better than the Finn Harps squad. It was just the consistency that UCD didn't have. They had some great players like Liam Scales. I know Gary ONeill didn't play most of last year. Neil Farrugia was brilliant. They had some great players, and hopefully their players go on to do great things. Connor Kearns is another one who's gone to St. Pat's. Yeah, I hope Finn Harps stay up, because I like Ollie Horgan as a manager. I think he's a great manager and a nice person. And it does show how much a good manager he is, keeping Finn Harps up last year, which wasn't a good squad, and he has strengthened that squad, but I think they're one of the only teams that look like they could have gone down, not looking at the season. Now, Cork and Sligo aren't doing well at all. I think Sligo will stay up, though, with the signing of Junior, who was at Derry last year, top scorer in the league, I'm pretty sure. He was brilliant for Derry. So hopefully does well for Sligo, because I wouldn't like to see Sligo go down. Like, I think they will stay up. And I don't know about Cork. I think they might get 9th, but I think they're going to stay up by the playoffs. Now, moving on to my starting 11. Now, I think Bradley's going to play a 5 at the back, 5-4-1. So for the purpose of the video, seeing what players I get right in each position, I'm going to go with that formation, just to see if I get the right players. So in goal, it kind of has to be Alan Manis. He's a super keeper, best in the league, in my opinion. There's no doubt I don't think he'll play. Like, Leon Poles is a very good backup keeper, but I think if we want to be challenging for the league, Alan Manis has to start every single game. At left wing back, I'm going with Sean Kavanagh, who unfortunately missed the start of the season through injuries. This break kind of did him well. Hopefully gets back into the squad. He's a great player, Sean. One of the best left backs in the league. Danny Lafferty's a very good left back as well. So I wouldn't be mad if I saw him get in, or even Neil Farrugia, who Bradley has played at the start of the season with Sean Kavanagh being out, but now he's back. I think Kavanagh will start. A right wing back, I'm going captain, leader, legend Ronan Finn, super player. The end of last year and the start of this year, he kind of played right wing back or right back, and he hasn't done bad there for a midfielder. To fit all the players in, because we have some super players, he kind of has to play there. Marshall's a super player. Scored a cracking goal against Waterford, and I'd love to see the same from him again. He's a super player. We know that from him. Hopefully he shows it when he does get in. I have no doubt he'll start on the bench, and more than likely come on. Now, as our first centre-back, I'm going Roberto Lopez, who he isn't the captain, but he acts like a leader on the pitch. We have so many leaders and he's one of them. If Ronan Finn wasn't the captain, we wouldn't have a problem replacing him as the captain. Not as a player, he's a super player and it would be hard to replace him. But as captain, Roberto Lopez would be probably straight up there. And even Alamanis, we have so many of them. And he's a super player as well. No doubt he'll get in. I have no doubt, probably the best centre-back in the league. Now beside him, I'm going with Ger Greene, who again is a great leader on the pitch. No doubt he could score a goal because he is a centre-back, but he scores so many headers from corners. He's a very dangerous player to have in the box, and you don't want the corner to be given and him playing, because nearly 9 out of 10 it's going in. And the same with Roberto Lopez in that matter. Now the third centre-back, I'm going with Liam Scales, who it will be either him or Joey O'Brien, but I'm going to go with Liam Scales. He's had a great start to the season. He's a super young player. He was talked about going over to England to play with Bristol Rovers, and I think it would have suited him because he's a super player. He did so well with UCD. Wasn't the captain, but he's a leader on the pitch for them. He's only young, and I think he's going to go on to big things in his career. Now at left mid, I'm going with Graham Burke, who scored 5 cracking goals against Cork City, and hopefully does the same against Harps. I'll get onto my score prediction later in the video, so stay tuned for that. Unfortunately, he missed the game against Dundalk with injuries and the game against Sligo, but he's another player that this break would have kind of benefited him, getting him back into the squad, because he's had the same break nearly as everyone else. Now out on the right, I'm going with Jack Byrne, best player in the league by far, no doubt. If we sold him, we wouldn't fall apart, but our whole team would drop by a level of standard. He's a super player, and I think any team in the league will bite your hand off to get him. Now the first midfielder, I'm going with Gary ONeill, who unfortunately Greg Bulger won't be able to play. It looks like he will be out for the remainder of the season, which is a massive blow for Rovers because he's a super player. Some people would say that he doesn't really match our playing style, but he's a super player and any team would have him in their squad. And Gary ONeill, the same, is a super player, was a leader at UCD, did so well with, no offence to UCD, but a tiny club, and he made things happen at UCD. Like, not on his own, but him and a group of other players made UCD fans delighted. Now, beside Gary ONeill, I'm going with Aaron McInnes, super player, best midfielder in the league, I think, up there with Chris Shields. We didn't fall apart last year, but our level of standard dropped last year when we lost him, and we were top of the league when he was playing, and he got injured, and we ended up second, which was a massive blow. He's a super player, and I have no doubt he'll start. Now, people could be surprised with this, but I'm going with Dean Williams up top. He's scored so many goals. I think it's 7 goals in 5 games for Rovers in the friendlies. He definitely deserves to get a chance. Rory Gaffney, I think if it's not Dean Williams, it will be Gaffney. Greene, I can't really see him starting with Williams doing so well and Gaffney only coming in. I think Williams will start, but I think Gaffney will be on the bench and definitely come on later in the game. Now, my score prediction for the game, I think it will be 5-0 Rovers. I think it will be another hammering just like Harps. I think Jack Byrne will score. I think Dean Williams will score if he starts. Graham Burke with a goal. I'm going to go with Ger Greene, and I'll go with Aaron McInnes. So no one scoring 2 goals there. 1 goal for all the players that I have chosen. If you disagree with my options, please let me know in the comments. I love reading what you guys think. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm excited to make more videos with the restart. There'll be a lot of videos coming on the channel, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.